You know who I am?
Anything you say, anything you say.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. Now, wasn't anything major going on in the news, political wise, except for the whole deal with the Epstein files and Trump blowing it off, and people know something's going on. They're not telling the people the truth. They're supposed to release all them files. The video evidence that they Pam Bondi presented was doctored. So I don't know what's going on. All I know is that they're lying. They're full of shit. They might not have like a black book list of clients, but there definitely was people involved. It's just very strange, and the fact that Trump is, telling them to forget about it, who cares, blow it off. It's really weird. It's strange. Anyways, let's get on to what I really want to talk to you about this week. So everyone has to get their 2 cents in to the new Superman movie. Everyone rushed out to go see it so they could be the first to review it. Fucking YouTubers. Drives me crazy they do that. It's just dumb. It's like, give it a chance to breathe a little bit. You can wait a few days. You ain't got to do it as soon as it comes out. It's so dumb. Anyways, understand you're going to get a few spoilers. This is my take on it. I did watch it. So just fair warning, if you haven't seen it yet and you don't want to know too much about it, then you shouldn't watch this video right now. Wait till later after you've watched it. So we're going to go over a few things. First of all, this is definitely James Gunn's Superman, because fucking his BS is all over it. And I'm tired of like some of these YouTubers going, oh, it's not woke. It's not like horribly woke or anything, but it does have woke elements in it. So them saying that there's no wokeness in it, they're full of shit. Some of the things I did like. I like some of the, where it shows a couple of scenes where he's rescuing people. That's Superman. The squirrel was a James Gunn joke, and it was just stupid. Him rescuing the squirrel. It was dumb. But where he's saving people, that's good. I didn't have a problem with the actor. He seemed okay. I could not stand Lois Lane. She was just super annoying and terrible. And who fucking wears high water pants anymore? Bell bottoms. God awful. Whoever dressed her was an idiot. They put her in a fucking dress for God's sake. Anyways, the whole Jimmy Olsen, all of a sudden he's like a stud and all the women are after him. That's so dumb and lame. That's not Jimmy Olsen. let's see. The Hawk Girl was fucking annoying. Oh my god, all she did was scream. It was so fucking annoying. Why couldn't they have Hawkman? Why they gotta have put fucking Hawk Girl in there? It's Hawkman. Hawkman, not Hawk Girl. She don't come till way later. Ugh. Her outfit was terrible too. It looks dumb. The Metamorphosis guy, he was okay, I guess, but they made him like he was like this timid pussy, almost. He really isn't, but they kind of made him off like that. It was terrible. And then Guy Gardner, or Nathan Fallon as Guy Gardner, he was okay. I liked him. Even if he was kind of a dickhead. I mean, that's the character. He's kind of a dick. Guy Gardner is. But, you know, I like Nathan Fallon. He's fucking hilarious. I mean, he was one of the better parts of the movie. But the one who stole the show, honestly, is Mr. Terrific. And this is a character nobody knows. Like, I'd never heard of him, and, you know, I know most of the characters in comics. I mean, there might be a few I'm going, I never heard of that, but it's not that often. This is like a D-list character, like nobody knows him. And he stole the show. He was the best part of the whole fucking damn movie. That fight scene, they have one fight scene where Mr. Terrific is with Lois Lane, and he's beating the fuck out of all these LexCorp guys. What did he call them? Something Watch. I can't remember what he called it. Something Watch is what he called them. But yeah, he just fucking goes in there and fucks them up, and I'm like, holy shit. And all he is like some tech genius. You know, he's like a tech whiz. That's his superpower. He's a billionaire who has tech toys, basically. Anyways, the guy who played Lex Luthor, you know, the actor's, from my understanding, he's a pretty good actor, but the character sucked. It was terrible. He's whining and complaining and blah, blah, blah. Superman, the whole thing was Superman, you know, he's a metahuman, and he gets to be worshipped by the people, and, you know, he's such a good guy. People love him because he's so nice, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it was just given to him, handed to him, all his powers and shit. Whereas Lex is like, I had to work at it, blah, blah, blah. You know, it took me years to get there, blah, blah, blah. So I hate you for that. It was dumb. It was stupid. And right at the last minute when they're arguing, there's a scene where they're arguing towards the end of the movie. And he's bitching at him for that crap. You know, James Gunn changed the whole thing from stand for truth, justice, and the American way, and he changed it to humanity way, and it's all about an immigrant, blah, blah, blah. Well, Superman's not an immigrant. I'm tired of people saying that. He's not an immigrant. He crash landed on Earth. He just happened to crash land in America, and, you know, the Kents adopted him and raised him. He didn't, you know, come into our country on purpose. He didn't come here illegally. So he's not an immigrant. I wish they'd stop saying that shit, because that's not what it's about. Anyways, I thought the whole... they could claim that there's no political crap in there, but the whole thing with the the two countries getting ready to go at it or what. These motherfuckers show up with baseball bats, and these other guys, they got fucking tanks and machine guns and helicopters. Like, yeah, what the fuck are they gonna do? Seriously, this is so stupid. He was basically parroting Israel and the Gaza crap. If you can't see that, you're an idiot. What else? The whole scene where they're arguing or whatever about whether they're in love with each other and all that shit, and the stupid crap going on in the background with the Justice Gang. Come on, either call them the, just Justice Society of America or the Justice League, one of the two. But it was just dumb. It should have been Justice Society of America, Justice Gang. Such a retarded names, fucking dumb. But anyways, that whole love spat or whatever, that was dumb too. And I agree, throughout most of the movie, Superman is literally getting beat up and punished throughout the entire movie. I mean, he's getting his ass kicked all the time. Nobody listens to him. In any other movie or comic, Superman's the leader. When he tells you to do something, you fucking do it. You don't argue with him. You don't fight with him. You don't blow him off. But everybody did in this movie, including that fucking dumbass dog. Oh my god. I couldn't stand Crypto. I wanted to blow him up. But no, the ladies and the kids, they love that Crypto dog. Yeah, it was so dumb. It was stupid. Like he's getting nipped at and he's going, ow, 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 ow. Nah, Superman ain't gonna feel that. Fuck off. And then I don't care if the dog's super dog or not. He's not gonna feel it. What was the other thing? The dog, when he flings around Lex Luthor, he should be dead. Lex is human. The dog is super. So, he should have been dead. And then, the fact that he's, towards the end, you see that he is Supergirl's dog. And they made Supergirl so dumb. She comes in there like she's a drunk high schooler, and she calls Superman a bitch. I mean, literally, she's like running in there like she's drunk. She's like, I came to get my dog, let's go, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, it was dumb. The robots was stupid. The only person to ever make Superman bleed is Doomsday. So it was kind of dumb that you have these robots repairing him. It was stupid. You don't need the robots. He can't bleed. That's why him being beat up constantly like that is just dumb. I mean, I get he kind of could get hurt from fighting his clone, which is what Ultraman is. It's his clone. But he kills him, which I thought the clone was supposed to be Bizarro. So that makes no sense to me, because in the comics he gets cloned, but he's Bizarro. So I don't know what the fuck happened there, but anyways, and that whole Pocket universe where he's got his ex-girlfriends and fucking people the state don't want around anymore because they're metahumans. He keeps them in this prison and calls it the Pocket universe. He works with the government. That's why he has a say in what's going on when he's talking to the government leaders It's just ridiculous. And it's not, it's supposed to be the Lex Corps, not Lex whatever. They changed the name. It's not Lex Corps in this, it's something else. I can't remember, but it's not the correct name. I don't know, there's a bunch of crap that's just wrong with this movie. He kept trying to throw these jokes in there that just did not land right. It was just dumb. It was more kiddie-ish style. It wasn't. I'm not a fan of the Snyder universe just because it was way too dark. But this one was just way too goofy. It was worse than the Tim Burton, the Batman movies. It was just terrible. The story was pretty lame too. It was just a lame ass story. Now they could have shot a montage of him at the very beginning of the movie and get you caught up to speed. You know, instead of doing an origin story, which instead of just, you know, which everyone's seen 100 times, but they didn't. He didn't have to dump him in like right in the middle, like the audience right in the middle. Nobody knows what's going on. You get this, you know, 10-second text, or 3-minute text at the beginning of the movie. You know, metahuman's been around for, you know, hundreds of years now. People are familiar with him, and he stopped the war, and that's about it. But they could have done a montage of, you know, like a 3-minute montage of him crashing to Earth and being raised by the Kents or whatever until he becomes an adult. You hardly ever see Clark. You see Clark like once or twice, and it's not for very long. They made him like a simp. He simps to Lois Lane. She shits on him constantly and belittles him. It's just ridiculous. The way they treat Superman in this movie is just god awful. It's like he can't do anything right, and they beat him up for it. You know, you can't release any masculinity that's toxic, blah blah blah. You got to be a pussy. You know, that's pretty much the way they treated him. So yeah, it was. Some people like this movie. I don't know why. It was, but most people hate this movie. So it's a split. It's divided right in the middle. I didn't care for it. It's definitely not my type of Superman. I gave the movie 2 thumbs down. I didn't like it at all. You might like it. I didn't. Go see for yourself. Anyways, that's all I have to say about Superman. Now let's move on to Jurassic World Rebirth, because I watched it too. And that's about all I could say about this movie. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't good. Johansson plays the part of what's his face, Chris Pratt. She's basically Chris Pratt in this movie. You know, she's playing the guy, the girl boss is basically what she's doing. She's the big baddie. Anyways, you have a family that shouldn't even be near the fucking dinosaurs. They claim that they were told the dinosaurs were pretty much dying off. There's none really around left, except for the ones near the equator. All the other dinosaurs are dying off, supposedly. Well, they know better than to go out this far towards these islands near the equator. But they're there anyway. It makes no sense. They know better. But I get it. They needed a family-oriented movie, so they brought in a family to have the dinosaurs chase. Ugh, so dumb. Anyways, they go to this island, and right off the bat, they get separated from the family. Johansson's group is basically a group of mercenaries. They're there to, which the story's been told before, they're there to get 3 samples of blood from 3 different living dinosaurs so they can create some super vaccine or medicine or whatever that cures a bunch of shit. Anyways, it's like a miracle drug. They get to the island, like I said, and they get separated. And the family is just stumbling around. They have no idea what the fuck they're doing. But yet they manage to survive. Which makes no sense. Because they're constantly being chased by dinosaurs. The mercenaries, on the other hand, they keep getting picked off one by one. They keep dying. They go towards, supposedly there's a village on this island or some shit, and everybody's heading for this village. Eventually the family and the mercenary group, they meet up again. Now the mercenary group has pretty much gotten all their samples. The one sample they had problems with was the pterodactyl sample, or that what looked like pterodactyls. Everything else is fine. Now, the studio, the movie studio that made this film, or the writers or whatever, they keep pumping these things out to make money, and they're beating a dead horse. Basically, they've run out of big baddie dinosaurs. The original was with the T-Rex. Every movie consistently after that, they've had to make up a new big ass dinosaur, and they did the same with this one. Except for in this one, it's genetically created, altered from different dinosaurs' DNA, which they've done a couple of times now. Anyways, that's how they make the big baddie in this one. It was kind of dumb. Anyways, they get off the island, whatever. There's just a few of them left. The whole family survives. The entire family survives. Woohoo! And then you got 2 mercenaries left. That's it. Oh, and the doctor, the archaeologist, or zoologist, or whatever the fuck he is. He lives too. That's it. That's the end of the movie. It was, like I say, it wasn't great. It was just, yeah. Okay, I give thumbs up, thumbs down. Alright, let's move on to your B-movie reviews. Okay, movie holics. This week is Horror Week. Now I went with a couple of older horror ghost movies. I figured we'd do a couple of ghost flicks. Haven't done any ghost flicks in a while. And anytime I've seen like one of those YouTube videos where they're doing a list of B horror movies, these two are always on the list. No matter how many channels I've seen, how many lists I've seen, these two are always on the list. The first one is called The Changeling. Now, I've known about this movie. I've just never watched it. Just wasn't really particularly interested. It was done in 1980 and it made about 12 million worldwide. It starred George C. Scott and Trish Van Derbeer. Now, I'm not a big fan of slow burners. You know, where it just seems to drag out and drag out. You have to really grab my attention. But I actually didn't mind this one, honestly. It was interesting. But it's a story that's been told multiple times. Or, you know, the type of story where, you know, the ghost wants you to, the lead character to figure out who murdered them, blah, 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 and make people know or aware that they were murdered. And that's basically the gist of the whole movie. He buys this house, and then the next thing you know, he's a pianist, concert pianist. Next thing you know, a bunch of freaky stuff starts happening. Things are moving around. He's hearing voices, blah, blah, blah. Come to find out, there's a senator who took the place of a young boy who was murdered by his father, and he wants, the boy wants George to, or George's character, to let people know. That's pretty much the movie. It was alright. It wasn't bad. I give it a thumbs up and a thumbs down. It was decent for what it was. But if you're not into slow burners, you probably won't like this. Like I said, you have to really keep me intrigued for me to sit through you know, a drawn out movie. It was drawn out, but it was interesting. That's why I kept tuned in. Now the next one I watched was done in 1982, and it made about 13 million worldwide. I thought this thing is called The Entity, starring Ron Silver and Barbara Hershey. Now, I thought this movie was a TV movie, but apparently not. It was loosely based on this story of a woman. I can't remember what her name was. But she made claims that some type of ghost or spirit was raping her, or, was sexually assaulting her. I've been a PI for 20 plus years, and I know other people have. No one has ever come across this kind of, where the ghost is sexually assaulting, and maybe you hear someone getting scratched or something like that every now and then, or touched, but not sexually assaulted. So I'm gonna tell you right now, the story that they're basing the guy who wrote the novel, who based the story off of this woman's claims, it's total BS. It's bogus. In fact, the Sun came out and said it was all a hoax. So it's not based on a real true story, to be honest. It's made up. It's a hoax. But anyways, at the very beginning of the movie, I almost didn't watch it because it just seemed really silly. She's constantly, like 2 or 3 times she gets sexually assaulted. But it started getting interesting about halfway through the movie when she brings in the paranormal team to help her out. Then it started getting a little interesting because she wasn't getting SA'd anymore. It was just at the beginning of the movie. The rest of the time, she really wasn't getting SA'd. Not really. I mean, I think there was one scene where the boyfriend shows up, her boyfriend shows up, and sees her getting SA'd, and that was it. The rest of the time, the paranormal team was there trying to help her out. They did this huge experiment towards the end of the movie with carbon oxide or whatever. They tried to freeze it. I forget what that's called. I'm saying carbon oxide, but I know it's something else. Anyways, they tried to freeze the entity, and it doesn't really work. At the end of the movie, supposedly the entity's still following her around, and she's still having experiences. So, I don't know. This movie was... I don't understand why this one was on their all the lists, everybody's channel, because it really wasn't that good. Honestly, it was pretty silly. Because nothing like that goes on in reality. And true PI research, it doesn't happen like that, or paranormal research. You ain't never seen anything like that. And like I said, I've been doing that shit for 20 plus years. I give this movie a thumbs up and a thumbs down. It may be worth a one-time watch. Nothing against the actors. It was just the story was kind of lame. Check it out if you want. That's all I have for you this week. If you have any thoughts about what I talked about earlier in the video, please leave your thoughts down in the comment section down below. If you can think of any underrated, B-rated movies you think I've never even heard of, please leave your suggestions down in the comment section down below, and I'll get to reviewing them as soon as I can. I'd love to hear from you guys. You guys do not comment as much as I would like, but oh well. Anyways, so until next time, I told you you'd be told the truth, and you've just been told.